Welcome to StarWatch Now, your front row seat to all the hottest gossip, drama, and breaking news from the world of entertainment. If it's trending, shocking, or star-studded, we're covering it. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss what's coming next.
Welcome back to StarWatch Now, where we uncover the most compelling stories from the heart of the entertainment and sporting worlds. Today, we are looking at a moment that redefined the very nature of celebrity influence and professional grit. When the engines roared at the China GT Championship, something shifted in the atmosphere. It was no longer just a competition of speed and mechanics. It was a cultural phenomenon that took the world by surprise. Imagine a desolate racetrack, miles from the nearest city, suddenly transformed into a pulsating sea of emerald green. 50,000 souls descended upon a venue that rarely sees a fraction of that number, creating a logistical miracle that left even the most seasoned organizers in awe. But the most extraordinary part of this story isn't the crowd or the cameras. It is the heartfelt gratitude expressed by those at the very top of the podium. Why would the overall champions of the event, the elite drivers who have dedicated their lives to the circuit, publicly thank a fellow competitor who didn't even take the trophy? This is a story of how passion, when backed by relentless discipline, can bridge the gap between a silver screen idol and a professional athlete, creating a legacy that will be talked about for years to come. Prepare to see the world of motorsport through a completely new lens. In the wake of the China GT Championship that concluded on the 19th of April, the racing community witnessed a gesture that was as rare as it was sincere. Overall champions Deng and Yuan did something unexpected. They turned the spotlight away from their own victory to express their profound appreciation for Wang Yibo. To understand why such elite athletes would do this, one must look beyond the final standings and into the very soul of the sport. Motorsport, by its nature, is an expensive and often solitary endeavor, struggling to capture the mainstream imagination outside of the elite circles of Formula One. Yet, in 2026, the GT3 category reached a level of social prestige and public intensity that surpassed all previous records. This wasn't merely a stroke of luck, it was the result of a singular presence that acted as a catalyst for an entire industry. The champions realized that while they held the trophies, the sport itself had won a future, thanks to the immense attention brought to the tarmac by their colleague in the emerald racing suit. Looking back at the race day, the scale of this impact was visible before a single engine had even started. The circuit, typically surrounded by a quiet, almost desolate landscape where finding a taxi is an arduous task, was suddenly the center of the universe. From 6 o'clock in the morning, every artery leading to the track was saturated with a procession of buses and private vehicles. The local traffic authorities were forced to implement emergency diversion points just to keep the region moving. This wasn't just a sporting event, it was a pilgrimage. Nearly 50,000 people poured through the gates, achieving a staggering 99.2% attendance rate. For the brands and investors watching from the wings, this wasn't just a crowd of spectators. It was a living, breathing audit of market vitality. Each individual in that sea of green represented a vote of confidence, a tangible piece of data that proved the immense commercial power of this specific individual. While other professional teams often find themselves in the difficult position of having to seek out financial backing, the presence of this one driver saw over 30 major sponsors queuing up, eager to have their names associated with the event. These corporations, ranging from financial platforms to lifestyle brands, were not acting on sentiment. They were following the most potent stream of consumer engagement in the country. However, to dismiss this as mere fan culture would be to overlook the staggering amount of work that took place in the shadows. There were many who initially questioned whether a high-profile figure from the world of arts and entertainment could truly handle the physical and mental demands of a GT3 machine. They whispered that it was perhaps just a promotional exercise or a scripted appearance. To silence these doubts, one cannot use words. One must use lap times. Behind the scenes, the dedication was nothing short of grueling. Reports from the track staff described a man who would spend upwards of 10 hours a day confined within the cockpit, repeating the same sequence of corners hundreds of times. The telemetry data exported from his practice sessions showed a dense, intricate web of red lines, a digital map of a driver pushing himself to the absolute limit of his capabilities. It is said that, If he entered a high-speed corner even 2 kilometers per hour slower than the target, he would return to the pit and go out again, 20 times over until he mastered the precision required. This relentless pursuit of excellence resulted in a lap time of 2 minutes and 3 seconds. A highly respectable achievement for someone who had transitioned into the sport in such a short time frame. The ultimate proof of this professional commitment was the acquisition of the official FIA Class C racing license. In the world of international motorsport, this is a credential that cannot be bought with fame or influence. It is earned through rigorous qualification and the strict approval of veteran officials. By securing this license, he didn't just join a race, he earned his place in a professional fraternity. This was the moat that protected his reputation. Had he performed poorly or failed to show technical competence, the very crowd that came to support him could have become a source of critique. Instead, he used his performance to cement his status as a legitimate athlete. On the day of the race, amidst the immense pressure and the deafening roar of 50,000 supporters, there was a moment of pure, calm focus. Inside his helmet, while others were gripped by pre-race nerves, he was heard humming a tune. It wasn't a sign of indifference, but rather a profound sense of being in his element. He wasn't there to play a part, he was there to live a passion. When the race began, the technical reality of the sport took over. At one particular corner, under immense pressure from a chasing car, he drifted slightly wide. The crowd gasped, a sound that could be heard even over the scream of the engines. On the very next lap, he adjusted his braking point by precisely 5 meters, holding his line with a level of grit that can only come from hours of reflexive training. This wasn't a performance for the cameras. It was a physical response to a high-stakes challenge. When the race concluded, the result was secondary to the impact. As he climbed out of the car, drenched in sweat and clearly exhausted, the atmosphere reached a fever pitch. He had provided the brands with billions of digital impressions and the sport with a new generation of fans. But more importantly, he had earned the genuine respect of his peers. The champions, Deng and Yuan saw that motorsport in their country had been elevated. They saw that their profession was now being viewed with a new level of appreciation by people who, only a year prior, didn't know the difference between a braking point and a cornering line. By bringing his world into theirs, he didn't just bring fans. He brought a new vitality to the entire ecosystem of racing. This journey reminds us that true influence is not just about being seen. It is about the work you do when no one is watching. It is about the 10-hour practice sessions, the sweat under the helmet, and the courage to step into an arena where you are a beginner. This event was a masterclass in how to use one's platform to illuminate a niche passion, turning a quiet racetrack into a global talking point. It proved that when you combine the power of a dedicated community with the discipline of a professional athlete, you create something that transcends entertainment. It becomes a legacy of inspiration, proving that no matter how high you have climbed in one field, there is always a new mountain to conquer if you are willing to put in the work. The Green Sea wasn't just a show of support. It was a testament to a man who chose the hardest path to prove he belonged. And in doing so, he took an entire sport along with him to the summit. Thank you so much for spending your time with us here at StarWatch Now. It is truly a pleasure to bring you these stories of dedication, passion, and the incredible moments that define our favorite stars in ways we never expected. We hope this look into the remarkable journey at the China GT Championship has left you feeling as inspired as we are by the power of hard work and the impact of a true professional. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to stay updated with the latest and most meaningful news from the world of Asian entertainment and beyond, please do consider subscribing to our channel. Your support means the world to us and allows us to keep crafting these detailed narratives for you. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload, and please leave a comment below to let us know your thoughts on this incredible crossover between the world of celebrity and professional motorsport. We read every single one of your messages and love hearing your perspectives. Until next time, stay inspired, keep chasing your own passions with the same intensity we saw on the track today, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Have a wonderful day full of energy and purpose. Goodbye for now.